Welcome to the Sports Card Professor channel. I'm Darren, and today I want to give you a preview of an interview I was blessed to be able to have with Mike Moynihan, who has two YouTube channels. He has the Baseball Collector channel as well as Bench Clear Media. And I've really wanted to interview him for a while because I have a great deal of respect for him, as does a good percentage of the hobby. The interview is actually not going to be on this channel. It's for my Creator Shoptalk channel, where I talk to other content creators about running channels. But this is two hobbyists sitting around talking about the ability to sit around and talk about cards. It's a lot of fun. I really wanted to talk to him because of the fact that he's been around in the sports card space area of YouTube for longer than just about anybody else. He's been on for for well over a decade. And he's been able to really see how it has evolved over time, and getting to be able to see how it's changed and get a good feeling for the sports card YouTube space as it is right now is really a lot of fun. And he has a really deep passion for our channels and our ability to hang out and talk about cards. He's the guy who created the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. So his appreciation for it is really, I'm not going to say unmatched, but it is very impressive. So it was fun to be able to sit and talk with him, and we were having so much fun. The interview went for about an hour. In fact, we continued talking for another half hour after I stopped the recording. And we kind of wandered around a lot. Most of the interview, it's not a succinct interview. It's basically hanging out and talking. It's really, really good. Toward the end, it does get a little heavy toward talking about my channel, but I would just advise that you fill in the blank with any other channel, and that's really kind of the spirit of the last portion of the interview. I do have a couple of clips I'm going to show to give you kind of a feeling for what the interview is like. I do urge you to click on the link below to go and check out that interview, because it's one that I think is really helpful for us. It doesn't matter if you have a YouTube channel, or whether you're thinking of making a YouTube channel, or if you just enjoy watching YouTube channels. This is an interview that I think really does work well for pretty much all of the audiences that are involved with sports card YouTube channels. So, like I said, I want to show you a couple of clips, and I'll do that right now.
When we launched Chasing Cardboard, we said our target audience is people who don't collect cards.
Yeah.
And that was our intent, and it's working that way. But like, a lot of hobby people watch it too. But I watch the idea. Obviously, the show. The premise is American Pickers meet sports cards, right? And
yeah, exactly.
So I watch American Pickers, and I could care less about motorcycles and bicycles and all the things that they buy. I don't collect that stuff. I have no interest in going and buying any of that stuff myself. I'm entertained by the show. It's well done. Mm-hmm. It tells a good story usually. And I do like learning some of the history of it, although none of it sticks because it's not an area of the world that I'm interested in. And yet I turn the show on every time and watch it because I like the hosts. I like their interaction. There's components to it that I find entertaining, and I would choose to watch that over a lot of other junk on television. And so when we did Chasing Cardboard, the premise was, let's tell a really good story that happens to have sports cards in it some way, somehow. Yeah. And I get so many comments from friends of mine, my pastor at church, like, hey, I watched the show. I don't care anything about sports cards, but I loved it. I just loved the entertainment of it. I was entertained. I was, I loved the stories, those kinds of things. So we get that kind of feedback all the time, even in comments on the videos. And sports card people like it too, to a degree. There's some hardcore people that think negative things about it, whatever. But you're going to get that no matter what. And there's different milestones that people, creators want to hit, and there's kind of levels of okay. And all of us start with, man, if I got 100 people to subscribe, I'd feel like I'm hitting a home run. And then 500 people are subscribed to my channel. I can't believe it. There's 500 people that actually care what I'm putting out, and then 1,000, and so on and so forth. for me, getting to 10,000 now, I would feel like that would be a huge accomplishment if I got to 10,000 subs, darn well knowing that 60% of them aren't really subbed in terms of being engaged. They're just subbed from a lifetime ago,
Yeah.
Days have passed. So I don't know if I'm answering your questions or we're just talking. I don't know, but
Yeah.
but that would be encouragement for anybody starting a channel is, man, you need to be out there promoting yourself to all these other people that are in the same space that you are. You might be doing it differently. And like you said, you have a whole different avenue that you're going down in the creation world.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar to Scott, Reindeer Studios, right?
Mm-hmm.
Super great dude, completely unique, right? He collects cards, but he's an art channel, really.
Yeah.
And it happens to be art that a lot of us like because we like baseball, and there's some definite overlap there. So much that he's as much a part of the community as someone that only shows vintage cards or whatever else, right? So he's a great example of a guy that doesn't show cards very often, but everybody in the community knows and loves and watches. You're talking about cards. That's pretty fun, right?
Yeah.
So time can go pretty quickly when you're doing something you love doing, right?
Yeah. And so that's really kind of the feeling of the interview. Again, really great. I'm really grateful that he did that he was willing to do the interview with me, and I certainly did learn a lot. There are a lot of things I didn't quite get to, and I'd like to go back at some point and do a little bit more. If there's anything that you guys would like to hear about in, whether you're curious about that interview or others, by all means, whether it's in the comments of this video or that one, definitely let me know, because there are a lot of topics that I may have missed at that time. I'd like to hear about that, but otherwise, do check that out and please do enjoy it.